Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to BSV TV. I'm your host Satoshi, and on this show we'll be defending the one and only, truly genuine Bitcoin. The Bitcoin that Satoshi Nakamoto designed in his white paper as a peer-to-peer electronic cash system for the world. Let's get the disclaimers out of the way. So all the statements that you hear on this show are opinion and must only ever be taken as opinion. They are never to be taken as any form of advice, family, financial, sexual or otherwise. And on that note, let's sit back, relax, have some fun and enjoy the show. Get paid for your content in Bitcoin and set your own fee on Streamanity.
Yeah, I'm not surprised I wasn't asked why I'm convinced Craig is Satoshi. I posted on Reddit. He signed in my presence using the private key from block number one, the very first mined Bitcoin block. On a computer that I'm convinced had not been tampered with, on software I'm convinced that had not been tampered with, a message of my choosing.
At Enchain, we've just funded a number of universities doing, so far, a test up to 1 gigabyte because it validates what we've already done independently. We've tested up to 380 gigabyte blocks. We've tested 1 million transactions a second and transaction sizes up to 20 megabytes. Super complex scripts. Basically ones that can run operating systems. That's all of global commerce times about 50. On top of that, we can have complex scripts. On top of that, we can scale each of those transactions 1,000 times, which effectively means about 1 billion transactions per second, which means we can then have all derivatives, all complex trades. That means high frequency trading. It means everything that happens globally.
Is the market that effectively BSV is going for, is that global e-commerce, which is currently valued at $29 trillion?
No, that's too small.
Buy and sell Bitcoin instantly at bsvgravity.com. And you can now book and pay for your winter holiday at skibsv.com. Boom, and it looks like we are live just after 5. Sorry for my late show today. You know, sometimes things happen, they just get in the way. But we are here just after 5. JP in the house. Oh, as Diddy Weldon as well. Nice one. She asks, what does Toshi think about Michael Saylor asking, what proof does Craig have that he is Satoshi? What proof does he have? Why doesn't he ask that to Peter McCormack? Peter McCormack's already seen it. He dropped his libel defense. I mean, like, oh, what evidence do they need? I mean, one, it doesn't matter what evidence he shows them. I mean, he's already, you know, signed using the private key in front of Gavin Andresen, Stephen Matthews, a room of public people, the BBC News, and they still didn't believe him. You know, it's like, I mean, yeah, it's just, and until he proves who he is in a court of law, and I guess evidence might be an accumulation of things, really. So Craig, I've heard him in an interview saying that he keeps receipts. You know, so one, obviously, you know, they've got records of him paying tax on his these tax records in 2009 with Bitcoin on it. He keeps receipts. You know, there'll probably be receipts for all the hardware that he's bought. I mean, he said that what he made, was it like $20 million before he was 30? You know, and he said that literally he went into the red. So he spent $20 million, you know, on researching Bitcoin and building the network. You know, because he obviously knew that he was gonna start the network shortly after he'd released the white paper. So everything had to be in place because, you know, you can't really leave it a moment too late, because 2 months being the reasonable amount of time in law, you know, any longer, and why risk somebody else starting the network? I mean, you've already got, you know, New Year's Day, you know, January 1st, then you've got January 2nd, people nursing hangovers. Well, you know, you know, there's nothing else to look forward to. That's when people are just like, right. And also, well, that was a Saturday. So, yeah, people are, you know, so like you leave it 2 months and an extra 4 days, he would have already had absolutely everything in place that he'd spent all this money on. So, I mean, yeah, there'll be loads. You know, I mean, he would have bought things on his credit cards, certainly on his debit cards. He'll have receipts for all the various types of equipment, you know, and research that have been done. There'll be loads. Loads and loads and loads. So I guess really, you know, I mean, if you've created something, you're just like, well, I created it and therefore I've got this. And we go, oh, well, how do we know you actually created it? How do we know you didn't steal the private keys off someone? How do we know they're genuinely yours? Well, you have to piece things together. So it's like, okay, right, well, I bought this machine with that money, and I bought that machine for this before I created that. I would have no need for that machine if I haven't created this, and blah, 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 blah. So there's going to be a whole load of stuff. I mean, this is why, like, Peter McCormack would have just seen it and just gone, But, I mean, he would have gone, duh. Whereas, like, somebody intelligent would just be like, oh, shit, like, he really is Satoshi, but somebody that hasn't really got too much of a brain cell to rub together, yeah, they'll just be like, okay, you know, yeah, Satoshi, but so what? Like, no fundamental understanding of who Satoshi actually is and the power that he wields over, you know, his creation. But again, I mean, it's economic power. It's not the control that Blockstream have got over BTC through the implementation of SegWit. It's literally, you know, economic power. So in other words, like, if I don't want this, I can kill it, you know. But why would he not want it if he created it? It's Blockstream and all these other shitcoiners that have turned, you know, Bitcoin into Bitcoinstein, as we'd call it. But yeah, anyway, welcome to the show. Neezy in the house as well. JP from Canada, great stuff. You know, I was actually talking to somebody earlier on today about, you know, describing what Bitcoin was. It was so hard. You know, like literally you mentioned, like, you know, value over price, consensus algorithms, proof of work, proof of stake, centralized mining, pre-mined, ERC20 tokens. Like, oh my God, like literally. I mean, you guys have obviously been listening to my show for a long time. So, I mean, yeah, I mean, I could talk all day on this. I mean, I do a show like every day because there's so much to say, you know, and it's pretty easy to fill content. I mean, like I tried doing, initially I thought I would struggle doing a 10-minute show, you know, now, you know, I mean, before I know it, like an hour's already gone. Yeah, I mean, I'm just looking at the time here, like 7 minutes already gone. Like, there's so much to get through. So anyway, let's just crack on. Let's open the show with what we normally I enjoy doing because I let other people do the talking. So we're just going to let Michael Saylor explain how good Bitcoin is before Blockstream and Roger Ver turned Bitcoin into shitcoins. Take the floor, Michael Saylor. Here we go.
I like Bitcoin the way it is. In fact, I love Bitcoin the way it is. And the way it's currently constructed, it is possible to put all $250 trillion of monetary energy in big blocks of encrypted energy on the blockchain. Maybe the Bitcoin will be $1 million. You can probably calculate $10 million of Bitcoin or something. Big blocks, $100 million chunks on the blockchain. It'll store all the monetary energy in the world, and it should store it for the next 100 years without losing any of it.
There we go. Thank you very much, Michael. Took the words right out of my mouth. Big blocks on the blockchain. Right, and now let's have a listen to Samson Mao, the Chief Strategy Officer for Blockstream, telling us that BTC is an absolute pile of shit. Take the floor, Samson. Here we go.
Bitcoin was created by the central bankers that enslave you today. It is their scapegoat.
How do you answer those, Max and Stacey?
I think the evidence is clear that they do not control it. There's 10 years, almost 11 years now of track record.
Yeah, Blockstream controls it.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Who does?
Blockstream.
Thank you, Samson Mao. Woohoo! And the truth shall set you free. He doesn't even realise it's just basically told everyone it's an absolute pile of dog shit. Like literally digital dog shit. He has no idea. Like, unbelievable. Can you believe it? You know, I mean, it just staggers me that the people that have been in the game for this long still don't get it. I mean, how stupid have you got to be to not even be the chief strategy officer of Blockstream and not know that what you've just said has just tanked its fundamental value to zero? Absolutely insane. And talking about insane, let's listen to Rogerverse saying the same thing and getting all excited about Bcrash. Take the floor, Roger. Here we go.
I have a question here from Satoshi, defender of Bitcoin. He said, if a cryptocurrency is anonymous, like BCH, I don't think BCH is anonymous, but maybe there is something.
Check out cashfusion.com and you combine that with reusable payment codes and you get Bitcoin Cash in the same sort of ballpark of privacy as Monero. It's really awesome. So you can check out Cashfusion. And I always get it wrong. I think it's .com, but it might be .org. So you can check both. Cashfusion.com.
Thank you, Roger. I won't bother. If a network has anonymity, there is nobody holding the anonymous creator to account, which means the network is centralized and fundamentally worthless as money. Because it is not a commodity, it is a security. And a security can never be money. Because it has no value other than the price that it has that is generated by the single party that created it. But in Bcrash's case, it doesn't even create a value because it doesn't produce anything. It's an absolute piece of digital dog shit. So let's remind ourselves, what is it that shitcoiners say?
Hey, hey,
hey. Hey, hey,
hey. There we go. And let's listen to let's listen to what Satoshi Nakamoto, or listen to what Satoshi Nakamoto has to say about his creation and his expectations of it. One of my favorite moments in Bitcoin history. Here we go.
At the end of the day, we own a lot of Bitcoin. The simple thing is, if we make the network scale, if we make it bigger, my main compensation, more than anything anyone could ever pay me, is the price of Bitcoin goes up. So that's my pure drive. I want Bitcoin not to go up to 10,000 or 100,000. I want it to be worth millions per Bitcoin. That's it. And that's what we spend money for. Very simple.
And there we go. That's what they spend money for. Very simple. To make it worth millions. Millions. Now, as you can see on this CoinCrab chart here, Litecoin is the only other genuine digital commodity. But because Charlie Lee created it, he is the one that discredits it, which is why he exit scammed the shit out of it. So let's have a listen and compare Satoshi Nakamoto, aka Craig Wright's expectation of his creation of Bitcoin, which we've just heard, to Charlie Lee's creation of Litecoin. Take the floor, Charlie.
You created Litecoin, right? So this has to be something like you're incredibly passionate about.
Yeah, as most of you probably know, I kind of created it just for fun, right? Didn't really expect it to become anything.
No, Charlie, I think you'll find most of us didn't probably know. Because if we knew, we wouldn't have given it a market cap of like $9 billion. Would we, you fool? You exit scammer. You absolute snake in the grass. Is all I can say on that one. But yeah, looking at this, I mean, I know you guys in the chat box already know this. I can see JP says, let's discuss how pathetic Cobra's comments are. Yes, indeed. We'll get to those in just a minute, but we're just going to go over some of the COPA's response to Craig Wright's letters that are being sent out, enforcing his copyright. But before we do that, let's carry on with these figures. Hopefully, CoinDance will be working for us today. Come on. Let's have some. Was it an anomaly yesterday? It looks like it was. Oh, look at this. Number go up. I was hoping number would come down, to be honest with you. Got some money coming in. Need it to come in quickly. Like, number go up just means I get less value for money. That's all it means. So, network knows 0.3, or hash rate 0.3. Network knows 2.9. Transactions 33.9. Block size, look at that, creeping up. So that's because of the data volumes coming through on the chain. Look at this, tau. Pooling? What is this? Pooling on the chain? That's not one you see very often, is it? BTC.com, mining as well. What is this? Bar BTC, okay, I mean, I don't think I've seen a F2 pool miner block in there, but I mean, look at these 13 megabytes, 12 megabytes, 15 megabytes. I mean, like, these blocks are huge in comparison to these shitcoins who literally can't produce anything. But we'll spot the biggest block on Bcrash for lulz. I can see a 3.1. They'll be lucky to top that. Yeah, 3.1. Yeah, there we go. And Michael Saylor, if you're watching, I know you will one day. This is your big blocks on the blockchain. A 1 megabyte block, Michael. That is all you're getting, sunshine. Dear, oh dear. Anyway, let's go through these graphs then. So hash rate again. Hash rate follows price, which follows value, which follows utility. Because when it has utility, it can then generate value. When it generates value, it can develop a price. When it develops a price, the price can be used to measure against the cost of other goods and services and be used as a medium of exchange. That's how it works. Proof of work on network, CoolCoin, Bcrash going to stop one day. Hash rate, Bcrash versus Bitcoin. Hash rate, proof of work, Bcrash versus Bitcoin. 60,000 times cheaper to transact on Bitcoin than CoolCoin because CoolCoin's a piece of shit. It is 10.5% more profitable to mine on CoolCoin though, just because a number go up. Daily average block size by network, yep, Bitcoin winning. Transactions by network, oh, CoolCoin just got the lead there. Transactions per block by network, CoolCoin just got the lead again. Daily average Bitcoin fees by network, Bitcoin smashing it. Fees Satoshis, Bitcoin smashing it. Block reward ratio, again, it comes with time that follows price, that follows value, that follows utility. Blockchain growth, just laughing at Bcrash there, absolutely hilarious. And the politics is all in the hash rate. So this is the hash rate, global hash rate, 7 days. Binance up there this week, macking it with the big three. Usually it's a F2 pool in a BTC.com. 24 hours, 3 big boys up there via BTC. Squeezing Ampool down into 6th by my looks of it. But let's have a look. CoolCoin. Oh, like pooling. Pooling taking the lead on F2 pool there. Swapping places, but the rest kind of as you'd expect. Still no sign of tau. No sign of tau. That is telling. Is that what I'd say? Bcrash, again, just full of shitcoin enterprises. Absolutely hilarious. Bitcoin, here we go. The two Mac Daddies, Tal and Huobi, fighting out for top spot. Other mining pools giving them a bit of a chance. And then via BTC, just hedging their bets, if you ask me. And yeah, pooling. Pooling have jumped on the chain. Don't see them very often. So it's a F2 pool that we're just missing today. But never mind. Like I said, they're just gesturing. Let's have a look at the blockchain working in front of our very eyes. So for any newbies seeing this for the first time, what fascinates me about this is that this is the blockchain. This is the technology outlined in the white paper, working in front of our very eyes, live in real time. This is amazing. So these are the transactions being recognized by the nodes on the network. Despite what all these shitcoin, CoolCoin douchebags want you to believe, once a transaction has been generated, once it has been picked up by 50% of the nodes on the network, which will be instant, that transaction is non-reversible. It exists. Once it exists, all we're just simply waiting for, if you're waiting, you don't really need to wait, is for it to be stored on the blockchain. But that's just storage. That's all it is. It's storage efficiency. The transaction, once it's picked up by the nodes on the network, is legit. No reversing it. Instant confirmations. 50% of the nodes on the network, all the nodes all around the world, all the miners agreeing that that transaction does exist. It has a transaction ID, it has an input, an output, a type, and an op return in all the transactions. Once it's recognized by the nodes on the network, it's thrown into the meme pool, which is where the miners and payment processors then compete to process the transaction, put it in a block, and store it on the blockchain, where it is stored immutably forever as a universal source of truth. And, oh, what's this? Refresh that page so we can see these blocks. Come on, Bitcoin Blocks Live. Don't be doing a coin dance on us like we had yesterday. What is this? Okay, well, we'll have a look at the charts anyway. There we go. Phew, when they come up. So still predictology. With 893,367 transactions in the last 30 days. We've got Peer Games, Twitch, TDXP app, Twitch on an absolute storm recently. Pre-Air Quality Index, Metanet, Sato Play, City on Chain. Again, I mean, these, and where's CentB? There we go, CentB. Oh, look, Pew Pew though. Look at that, Pew Pew has overtaken CentB. Pew Pew on Handcash. People loving dinging those dongs. Absolutely awesome. Weather SV, good to see Koala Mint on there as well, you know. Nice. Nice going. Looking good, looking good. Right, let's have a look at some of these comparison charts here. BitInfo charts. We're just gonna, these are all the shitcoins across the top. If you scroll over the blue tabs on the left hand side, we can go to average transactions per hour. Let's have a quick look at that then. We'll go to log, we'll go for 3 years. There we go. And this is BSV in the sky blue. Yes, indeed. Any person with any level of intelligence whatsoever would be curious about what that is, because it looks like it's moving up fast. Yes, indeed, because that is the genuine Bitcoin. So this is average transactions each hour, but we'll have a look at just another quick metric here. Like we can have a look at costs. And then let's go back. Really? Come on. There we are. So I mean, let's have a look at this one. Hash rate, mining profitability, tweets per day. Don't need that one. Where are these costs? Have a look at this one. Mining profitability, active addresses, tweets per day. Prices calculator. Explore Bitcoin. Oh God, I can't believe we've got Dogecoin on there. What a joke. Prices. Okay, they're the prices. Right. Correlations. This is probably it. No, I was actually looking for. Yeah, there's a way of. I saw somebody like comparing transaction fees, but I mean, Bitcoin, the genuine Bitcoin, is just so low. You can hardly even see it anyway. It's just literally like along the floor. So there's transaction fees. See if we can see this. What's this? Blocked? Oh, come on. The hash rate, mining profitability, active addresses, tweets per day. Oh, well, I've seen other people find these metrics. I shall just simply have to hunt around for them. We'll just have a look at trends.cash. Trends.cash. Various apps. Now look at this app. Money spent. People absolutely macking it hard on TDXP app. 63.2% of all amount of money spent on TDXP. That is huge. And then app ranks performed by actions. Root SV still need to find out what that is. But TDXP app is still on the ranking by performed actions, 7.7% in comparison to Twitch with 5.2. It just goes to show you that people have got a nasty gambling habit. They can't help themselves, can they? Not at all. But really interesting. I mean, it's great. These pie charts are just going to grow exponentially very soon. Let's jump into the Twitter gossip. Here we go. Don't set these to myself. This is the one we want to have a quick look at. Check this out. Square Crypto. He said, "We don't care who created Bitcoin." Really? Sounds like you do. Just who didn't? Well, the entire world didn't. Like, this is so stupid. Who something isn't, what something doesn't do, what something is not, is totally irrelevant. It's just so stupid. And so let's just go over the responses here from Craig's letter that this COPA defined themselves as in the letter here, the Crypto Open Patent Alliance. I mean, what a load of shit. Let me just see what I made an acronym for it earlier. See if we can find it. Calvin have a whale of a time in Phuket. Where is it? Here we go. It's coming up. It's coming up. Anytime. There we go. Coin Operators for Wannabe Prison Inmates Association. I'm having a laugh. Check this out. I thought this was absolutely hilarious. Let's have a pissing contest. BTC versus BSV are absolutely hilarious. I mean, that's actually really quite close to the truth, to be honest with you. But here we go. So this is what they said. They said COPA, as in copper feel, like what you want, seriously, stands for an open financial system. Well, you're very misguided there, I'm afraid. And was formed to remove barriers that stifle innovation. What a load of shit. We are hosting the Bitcoin white paper and stand with our members and the crypto community to address this issue. Here's our letter in response to last week's cease and desist letters. So by email to Ontario LLP. Our client, Crypto Open Patent Alliance. We act for the Crypto Open Patent Alliance, whose member, Square Incorporated, received your letter dated 21st of January 2021, marked for the attention of Square Crypto, Square Incorporated, and Square Up Europe Limited. COPA was formed to encourage the adoption and advancement of cryptocurrency technologies. Our client is a US-based non-profit mutual benefit corporation based in San Francisco, California. Our current list of COPA's members can be found at openpatent.org members. The letter is referred to the Bitcoin white paper being hosted on the website squarecrypto.org. COPA also hosts the white paper on its website, available at this address. As multiple members of COPA host the white paper, we've been instructed to respond on behalf of COPA not only in this representative capacity for members who host the white paper, including Square Incorporated, but also on its own behalf. At this stage, our client seeks further information about your client's threatened claim. As the letter does not set out sufficient factual information for us, our client or for us or our client to be able to assess and evaluate the claim. Well, they didn't create the white paper. They have no right to it. Why do they care? It's like, did you create the white paper? No, you didn't. Right, take off your website then. Who cares if they go, oh well, we don't believe you did. The fact is they didn't, so they have no right to be hosting it. Should this matter proceed to litigation, your client would have to establish his entitlement to enforce the copyright in the white paper. We understand that from your letter on the 21st of January 2021 that he intends to do so on the basis that he was the author of the white paper and is the owner of the copyright therein. Accordingly, and pursuant to paragraph 2 and 3A of the practice direction to which you refer in your letter, please would you provide the following information in order to enable our client to understand your client's position. 1. Please explain on what basis you assert that your client is the individual behind the pseudonym Satoshi Nakamoto and is the author of the white paper. Alright, interesting to see what the response will be, if they get one. On what date or dates does your client say that he wrote the white paper? At what location or locations does your client say that he wrote it? I mean, all these questions are completely irrelevant anyway. They don't even need an answer. Please provide the above information for the version released on the 31st of October 2008, and all drafts. Further references in these questions to the white paper include all versions and drafts. Is it your client's position he wrote the white paper alone or with others? If the latter, please identify the co-authors and when such contributions were made. If your client's position is that another person or persons edited or otherwise contributed to the white paper, but not such as to amount to co-authorship, please identify which person or persons and when such contributions were made. 6. On what basis provided for by any applicable international convention does your client claim to be entitled to UK and other copyrights in the white paper? Was your client employed by, did he hold any office with, or did he work under contract to any person's organisation or business at any time during the period or periods of identified in questions 1 to 4? If so, please set out the nature and status of such role or any such roles. Number 8. Is it your client's position that the work that he says he did on the white paper fell outside any such employments, offices or contractual relationships? Number 9. Is it your client's position that he has at all times since authoring the white paper owned the copyright therein? If at any time he has signed or otherwise divested himself of said copyright or agreed to do so, please provide information about any such transactions and the basis on which he now claims to own copyright in the white paper. We propose that a period of 2 weeks, i.e. until the 19th of February 2021. Oh, so that 19th of February? I'm just thinking. Is that a specific date? 19th of February? Anything going on? There's so much going on. I have to do some memory recall. It's a reasonable period for your response. We should be grateful if you would let us know whether more time is required. Once you have provided the above information, our client intends to respond substantively to your letter within a reasonable time frame, in the hope that this matter can be resolved without the need for litigation. Nothing in this letter should be treated as admission or acceptance of any claims made by you with respect to our client and its members. We reserve all rights in relation to this matter, including the right to challenge jurisdiction. Please direct future correspondence in relation to this matter to our firm by email to blah 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 blah. Please note that we are not authored to accept a service on behalf of COPA or any of its members. Yours faithfully, Bird and Bird. They've actually signed it Bird and Bird. I think the solicitors are just like ripping the piss basically, but you know, we know what's coming anyway. I mean, it's inevitable. But I mean, where they're fighting a losing battle. You know, like I said, all you've got to do is look at bitcoincore.org. They literally took the white paper down immediately the moment they got the copyright, because they know. We know they know. But have they told anybody else? No, they haven't. And I wonder why. Because their paymasters don't want them to. Their paymasters are basically trying to rally troops on their side. The tide will turn soon when they realise that they are the frauds themselves. They were like, hold on a minute, you told us X, Y, Z, and that's an absolute load of bollocks. This guy is the genuine Satoshi Nakamoto. He did create Bitcoin. You have stolen it from him. You did change it from like a peer-to-peer electronic cash system to digital dog shit. What the hell? You know, might that be too late for them though? You know, they need to take responsibility for their own decisions. You know, is what's basically going to happen, but people are going to lose a lot, you know. It's yeah. This one I thought was quite funny. Just a bit of news here from Kim.com. It said Kim.com triggered by facts. BSV is a real Bitcoin. Beware imposters and cowards who run away from the truth. And this is what Kim.com has posted. You know, it said Bitcoin Cash transaction growth. I joined Team BCH early January. This is just the beginning. So, oh, look at this. So they've actually got a chart here with I think, yeah, transactions. Oh, that's just transactions. It's not transaction costs. But Crypto Rebel here doing a good rebuttal, saying BSV dwarfs BCH blocks and are getting smaller over time. BCH has strangled blocks, same as Core. Whose permission do you need to raise the limit? Well, yeah, exactly. So yeah, he's going to be in for a rude awakening. That Kim.com fella. And one last thing I wanted to just pick up that I'd sent to myself. Oh yeah, let's have a quick look at this article here. Amber Group's CEO Michael Wu explains why he no longer sees CoreCoin as a bubble. That's all we can say to this one. Let's have a listen to this crap, shall we? Bitcoin is not a bubble anymore, Amber Group CEO says. Is that right? Bitcoin will still have notable value fluctuations, but it's out of bubble territory, according to Michael Wu, who clearly has no idea about the developmental stages of Bitcoin and the fact that the period of decentralization, which is effectively the period of speculation, you know, and all of this crap, which was from, I suppose, start of the network 3rd of January 2009 to the 1st of January 2020. It was speculation and criminality were rife. Now it's going to be sorted out because we are now in the period of adding value. And adding fundamental value is all about Satoshi Nakamoto. Well, one, proving who he is. But secondly, I mean, again, that's just like a one-off pump and dump. But it's going to combine with loads of other proofs. You know, you've got fundamental value. You have technical value, core value. You know, all these different types of value that are going to be added to it. It's going to be spectacular. The number of entities have called CoreCoin a bubble since its inception roughly 12 years ago. Well, actually, CoreCoin was had its inception on the when BTC had its signatures segregated on the 24th of August 2017. So really, you can only really call it since then. So like about 3.5 years ago now. Yeah, about now. Michael Wu, CEO of digital asset financial services outfitter Amber Group, thinks otherwise. However, I think it's always like this when people come into a paradigm shift. Wu said in a CNBC interview on Thursday, referring to the concept of Bitcoin as a bubble. People start with doubts, with skepticism. It's very natural because they will have to take time to understand what's new there. It is is it sustainable? He added. In the early stage, that kind of understanding, that kind of skepticism always comes with a lot of price volatility. However, I don't think you can call Bitcoin a bubble anymore because, like I mentioned earlier, you have all the institutions, whatever, all these billionaires, like 2 of them, multi-million-dollar listed companies, like 5 of them, is that it? All these, all these newcomers into crypto, they're buying Bitcoins, they're buying crypto, and there are only 21 Bitcoin out there. Well, actually, no, because like I said, it's the neutral growth of the network without any authority or control. And BTC, BCH, all these other shitcoins have a central source of authority because those people who created them are not accountable to anybody. So therefore, they are no different to all these other networks, which means there is not only 21 billion Bitcoin out there. There are millions and millions of shitcoins out there, is what it really means. But he hasn't understood this. References to large mainstream players buying Bitcoin has become much more common in recent months. MicroStrategy allocated more than $1 billion to Bitcoin, that's CoreCoin, in 2020. MassMutual put $100 million into BTC sometime thereafter, and Square later came in as well with $50 million. Rationale for CoreCoin's long-term price rise includes its limited supply matched with significant interest in the asset. Wu explained. It's such a load of crap. There will be price volatility. There will be short-term price corrections, he added. Sometimes these price corrections can be violent, but I think we've passed that stage of calling Bitcoin a bubble anymore. Oh dear, oh dear. Honestly, the learning these guys are going to have when it pops is just going to be absolutely massive. They're thinking it's too big to fail. It's not. It's not backed up by the governments. The governments couldn't care less about this. This is out of their hands. You got yourself into it. You're going to have to dig yourself out if you find yourself in a hole. The government cannot protect you because you're a douchebag. Dear oh dear. We also commented on BTC and its store of value role, similar to gold. Oh dear. Bitcoin has seen its fair share of comparisons against gold over the years. The worst case scenario of Bitcoin is still a better form of gold, he said, because he has no idea. On Wednesday, Wu's company, Amber Group, announced that Annabelle Huang, one of the firm's partners, had been given the task of furthering institutional and retail involvement. How can they? It doesn't do anything. It's so stupid. All they're trying to do is basically build up an institutional Ponzi scheme. They're like, yeah, get the institutions in this Ponzi scheme now. That's literally all they're doing. Amber Group appointed partner Annabelle Huang to lead Global X Center, a strategic global expansion team established to grow the company's institutional and retail product offerings in regions include South Korea, Japan, Hong Kong, Singapore, Taipei, North America, and more, said a statement provided to Cointelegraph. Oh dear. Literally, it is all I can say on that one. But let's just have a quick look at some of these Cobra Bitcoin replies here. He claims he's a big blocker. What an absolute load of shit that is. Anyway, oh, what's this? Well, what can I say? Michael Saylor hasn't got a Scooby. Is that tweet unavailable? Has he blocked me? What's this one? Have I blocked them? Oh, is this it? Michael Saylor. We at MicroStrategy have decided to join a COPA. Oh my dear, oh dear. When was this? February. So this was just yesterday. Oh my god. Oh my. Well, the thing is though, it's going to be a rude awakening for them. I mean, can you imagine? Like literally, this is what I'm saying. Literally, BSV could flip BTC almost overnight. Literally, because it is all going to come at once. There is no way Craig would be doing all that he's doing, as in sending out these letters from the solicitors, going to court, proving himself in the PMAC libel case, got the IRA climbing case and all that, giving the loan to Tao on the 17th of December last year, all this scaling on the scaling test network, all this is coming. Like, Craig could have done this a year ago if he wanted to, but things weren't in place back then. Whereas now, things are in place. The network has scaled. He can prove himself. The period of decentralization and neutral growth is over. Yes, indeed it is. So let's go to my tweets and replies here, see what I've been going on about. Calvin looks like he's having a whale of a time here. So actually, there's a pretty cool soundtrack to this bar that he's at. So I might have to leave it here for the YouTube trailer. There we go. I think that's everyone done. Right then, peeps. So yeah, over an hour again. But anyway, hope you enjoyed the show. And as ever, be aware, take care, stay safe out there. Joy given. Same time tomorrow. Catch you later. Get your tweet etched on Twitch. Forever on the Bitcoin blockchain. Do it today at www.jointwitch.com. BuyBSV.live, the best place to buy Bitcoin SV online. Get paid for your content in Bitcoin and watch the full episode on Streamanity for just 20 cents. Go to www.satoshi.tv. See the link in the description below. Bitcoin, one world, one chain.
Yeah, one vision.